Hey, welcome to this week's Coffee and Conversation. I want to ask and find out, are you comfortable with your suffering? And it's a phrase I heard on the Ed Milet podcast. He was talking about instead of fixing problems, instead of taking care of whatever is really causing you your misery, your suffering, people don't want to do the difficult work, the scary work. And so instead, they make their suffering more comfortable. And the ironic thing as I was thinking about this is that many of the things that make your suffering more comfortable, from a different perspective, there's nothing wrong with them. For example, alcohol. Having a drink with friends, having an occasional cocktail, nothing wrong with. Sitting every night because you're miserable, having a number of beverages to numb the misery of your existence, a problem. Same thing with drugs. I'm just going to go with drugs as a general rule, bad. It's numbing behavior, okay? And Brene Brown talks about, numbing behaviors. But what about vacations? Vacation can be a wonderful thing for you, your family, but when you use a vacation to escape what you consider the misery of your life, it's no longer a positive thing. I've seen men who, again, cars, nothing wrong with a nice car, but if you're buying a fancy car because you're miserable in your life and it's the only thing, having this new shiny sports car will make you feel better while you're in it, it's not a healthy thing. And here's the funny part. The new always wears off, and then it's just another thing. It doesn't bring you happiness. The other thing a lot of people don't always think about is sex. Yeah. So sex can absolutely, sounds like a little hail coming down. Sex can absolutely be the most wonderful thing in a relationship. It can be connecting, it can be intimate, it can be just amazing. And there's nothing wrong with sex. Between two consenting adults, whatever trips your trigger. But sex can also be unhealthy, validation-seeking, and empty. In fact, it can be used as a way to numb the pain in such a way that it only makes you feel even emptier once you're done. I speak from experience. So, post first divorce, I use sex as a numbing agent, seeking validation, proving my worthiness. It doesn't work. Now sex is an amazing connecting thing in my life. Gambling, another one, nothing wrong going to the casino, playing a little poker, a little blackjack. But if you're going to get away, to escape your life, to numb, unhealthy. Now, the final two things I want to talk about, a lot of people don't think about. One is TV, just mindlessly watching and binge watching a TV show is incredibly unhealthy. Unless you planned it, unless once a month you take a day where you binge watch your favorite show. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you binge watch it, when you have 10 things to do and the next thing you know, it's dark outside and you didn't get anything done and you've been watching the show all day. Again, unhealthy. You're just making for comfortable suffering. And the final one is social media. Are you using it as a content creator? Are you occasionally keeping up on some things? Or are you mindlessly watching an hour slip away on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram? Are you looking at borderline porn on Instagram? And again, it all depends on intent and how you're doing what you're doing. And let's talk about porn. I was listening to a podcast. Porn doesn't actually constitute an addiction, but there is some healthy consumption, occasionally, maybe with your partner. But most of what we see is repetitive, unhealthy, numbing consumption that also makes you feel less than, makes you feel shame afterwards. And that's kind of one of those things. When you look at all of these things on the list, you almost always feel less than at some point because you're using something unhealthy to validate. Something to think about. So if any of these hit a little too close to home, what should you do? Reach out down below and let's have a conversation. There's contact information below. There is a men's community, mentoring.men, which you will find is the most supportive and amazing community. We have over 20 group coaching sessions a month. That's just the free ones. But what you need to do is you need to start looking at what's your mindset that's causing the suffering, and get with the mentor, get with the coach. Let's talk and let's see if we can't adjust some attitudes, adjust some perspectives, and maybe look at things differently and move forward and get you to the point where you're no longer suffering. Pain is part of life. Suffering is optional, men. All right. If you stuck this far and you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel. Love you guys. Stop the numbing behavior. Stop being comfortable in your suffering. You're better than that, and you can get past this. Love you guys.